I'm Ted Keys, your host and top freight agent training expert here in Southern California. This topic comes from my 30 plus years of business, sales, and freight moving success. Watch, learn, and apply it. You'll move more freight efficiently, effectively, effortlessly, and make more money financially. And call me at 626-309-9141 with any questions. Now explode your business with... Hello and welcome to my Tuesday conference call. Ted Keys, your host and top freight agent training expert here in Southern California. Today I'll show you how to move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly so you make more money financially. And after the call today, go to my website, tedkeysonline.com, to hear more of my podcasts, read more of my blog posts, watch more of my videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. And if you have any questions today, any questions regardless of what it is, or specifically, are you ready for my top producing one-on-one personal freight sales, freight broker training, then give me a call, Ted Keys. I'm at 626-309-9141. Today's training topic is typical freight agents' reactions to failures. Typical freight agents' reactions to failures. So for those of you that are on my contact list, just go to any one of those email invites that I sent you today, scroll down to the bottom, and we're going to go over those 7 attachments, 7 free attachments that I provided down there at the bottom of your Gmail or your Gmail invite today. So again, topic is typical freight agents' reactions to failures. If there's one thing that you will witness on your road to success is many, many failures. Now, is that a bad thing? No, that's just a usual thing. In order to get good at anything, you must fail first. And why is that? Because you've got to fail first to realize what it is that you did wrong. So we're going to talk about the typical freight agents' reactions to those failures. And by doing that, I'm going to start off with 5 main points before I get into those reactions. I'm going to talk about 5 main points. The first point is I'm going to talk about typical beginner freight agents' reactions to failures. These are typical for beginners or struggling freight agents. Okay, that's point number 1. Second point is these are the failures that you're going to go through as you build your contact list. If you don't build a contact list and continue to build that contact list, you will go nowhere in this profession. So my point number 2 is while you're building that contact list. Point number 3, I repeat this statistic over and over and over again, and that is 80% of your sales, again, 80% of your sales will come between your 5th and your 12th contact. Let me say it again, 80% of your sales will come between your 5th and your 12th contact. Now, will you make mistakes and will you fail during that process? Absolutely. You will fail. Even if you have me training you, you will fail in the process. However, going back to that, my 4th point is getting the shipping decision maker's name and contact is the easy part. Okay, believe it or not, that's the easy part. A lot of you tell me, how do I get past the gatekeeper? You know, how do I get the shipping contacts info? That's the easy part. It's making, which leads me to my 5th point, it's making those 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7th, 8th contacts to actually win over their freight, and that is point number 5. And that's what you have to go through during those follow-up contacts, those follow-up messages that you have to make. That's where the challenge is, because that first call, once you actually get through, if you do what I tell you to do in my Freight Sales Success Guide, you will get their contact info. You'll get their name, their number. This is for the shipping decision maker, and most of all, you'll get that email address. It's the follow-up calls that you have to make in order to get to that 5th through that 12th contact. That's where the challenge lies. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And those are the reactions when you fail in the process. And I'll say it again, you've got to fail in order to get better at anything. So let's talk about those typical reactions that freight agents go through as they're making their way to that 5th, that 6th, that 7th contact. Reaction number one, when they realize failure is, what are they going to do? They're going to curse it. They're going to curse it. Hey, this has nothing to do with me. It's GD this or GC that. When in reality, whose fault is it? Okay? Is it your fault or their fault that, that they reacted when you followed up after the 3rd or 4th time? Okay? So the first reaction is they curse it. All right? Second typical reaction is they deny it. They deny that whatever took place ever happened. They'll say, hey, I said all the right things. I did everything correct, or I did everything that I was told to do. So they'll deny it. Their reaction is they'll deny that it ever happened. They'll say that, hey, I did it all correctly. Okay. The third reaction that they'll do or they'll say is they'll avoid it. Okay, they'll avoid that it ever took place. And again, this could be anything, guys. When you follow up with individuals that 2nd, 3rd, 4th time, these individuals, because they sense that you're a beginner, it's like they don't want to take you through the training process as well. So that's why you've got to follow up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times before you actually get through and actually move their freight. So the third reaction is that you'll avoid it. I take it back. First reaction is you curse it. Second reaction is you deny it. The third reaction is you avoid it. You avoid that it ever happened. And here's what you end up doing. You act as if it doesn't happen. Okay? Hold on a second here, folks. You come up with, I'm not calling them again. And why is that? Because they hung up on you? But that's what you do to avoid anything further. And unfortunately, that's what happens with 95% of freight agents. If something happens, they get yelled at, they get hung up on. What do? They avoid going further. So they'll say, hey, I'm not calling him again. I'm not calling her again. I'll try another industry. Some other industry is better. I've been attempting to move sod. Let me go into steel. Steel's got to be better. So the third reaction is they avoid it. They avoid calling that individual, when in reality, that individual could be the most profitable customer that they'll ever had, provided they keep moving forward. Fourth thing they do is they make excuses. More typical reaction is beginning freight sales agents, they make excuses. They'll say, oh, it was too hot today. Or, it was too cold today. I called that person too early, or I called that person too late. Or, here's a great one, I'm having a bad day. So they make excuses. And in making excuses, they convince themselves that that person is not right for them. And then they avoid it, they deny him, they curse him, whatever it is. Fifth reaction to freight agent failure is they blame others. And typically in a situation like this, when I'm the trainer and I'm training them, I'm training you, who do you think they're going to blame? They're going to blame me. They're going to say that they got poor training, that their scripting was poor, or they're going on these poor conference calls. So what do? They don't blame themselves. They blame others for the failures that they're going through. And remember, guys, you've got to go through these. Now, is it failures? Not necessarily. I'm just using that as a description, okay? When you call somebody, when you follow up over and over again and they don't want to speak to you, it's not necessarily a failure. However, it could be a failure in the questions that you asked. But remember, 80% of your sales will come between your 5th and your 12th contact. It could be a failure, it could not, they're just not ready for you. But what do? You keep moving forward. Only when you keep moving forward are you not failing. When you just stop, and that's what I'm going to talk about, my sixth reaction. When you quit, that's failure, okay? When you quit, that's the sixth reaction that freight agents go through, okay? When they witness things like that, when they quit, quitting is failing. It's the ultimate failure that you can do, okay? You'll say, I've had enough of this. This doesn't work. I'm done with this. And that's the worst. That's the worst reaction you can have when you give up. Because here's the thing. 95% of those that start in freight sales, they quit. They quit. They quit. So what does that mean? 90 to 95% that start in freight sales, whether you have experience, whatever it is, you quit. What does that mean? 5 to 10% make it. And that's my last reaction. Okay, my last reaction is those that are determined, those that set goals, they overcome the failures. They overcome the failures. And let me say it again. Last one, last reaction, they overcome. This is all part of the process. This is all part of climbing that mountain just to get to that first load. This is what you have to do. And unfortunately, most people give up way before their time. But this is part of the process. And part of the process is you call a prospect. You get their contact info. You call them again. They're not ready. They give you the typical objections. We're slow. I don't want anybody. We're good. You call them a third time. They give you objections again. You call them a fourth time. Not ready for you. Don't have anything. The fifth time, same old thing. But when you call the sixth time, hey, this load just popped up. Give me a rate from Shreveport to Oklahoma City. And what do? You follow the guidelines that I list in my Freight Sales Success Guide. You give them a rate. They say, yes, I will take that rate. You can move that load for me. But it doesn't happen right away. You've got to keep going through this process of moving forward, and not only with one prospect, but with every prospect you come up with, and 3 more per day. That is how you become successful in this profession. So, typical beginner freight agents' reactions to failure. All right, the first thing they do, they curse it. Second thing they do, they deny it. Third thing they do is they avoid it. Okay, whatever it is that happened. Fifth thing they do is they make excuses. Sixth thing they do, they blame others. Last thing they do is they quit. Okay, I take it back. That's not the last thing, but in the realm of the negatives, they quit. 5 to 10% overcome. All right, 5 to 10% overcome these failures and continue to go forward. Most of society quits, unfortunately. That's just how our culture, how our world works. It doesn't matter whether you're in the US, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in Australia. Most of those cultures, they quit way before their time, not realizing that this is what you have to go through just to get that first load. And boy, aren't you glad you have me that went through the same process as well to describe this to you. So, once again, those are the typical freight agent reactions to failure. Great topic today. Again, great topic today. Thank you so much for joining me today on my Tuesday conference call. I will see you all again next Tuesday, same time, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time on my Tuesday conference call. Pleasure talking to you today. Take care. God bless you all. I'll see you all again next week on my Tuesday conference call. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. When you arrive at my Freight Sales Success Store today, you'll see a host of products available there for purchase. First one you'll see available is my flagship product. That is my Freight Sales Success Guide, typically for beginner and struggling freight agents. If you're searching for that daily motivation to set goals, to achieve them, to pick up the phone daily and connect and build relationships with the marketplace, then opt for my Freight Sales Success quotes. And if you're searching for those specific skills, and there are many skills, many individual skills required to be successful in this profession, then opt for my Freight Sales Success skill. I highly recommend each one of these products, available for purchase today in my Freight Sales Success store. Do you have any questions again? Do you have any questions about today's call? Or more importantly, are you ready for my top producing one-on-one personal freight sales, freight broker training? Then give me, Ted Keys, a call. I'm at 626-309-9141. Great topic for today. Take these skills, apply them. You'll be amazed at what happens to your results.